All right, we are back and ready to continue coding our S'mores app. Right now you're going to be on the screen that says choose number because we need to think about how to code these blocks. We need to code this block to go to the answer page for 1 bar. So if the user has 1 bar of chocolate, how many s'mores could they make? If the user has 3 bars of chocolate, how many s'mores they could make? And 5. And so we're going to need an answer page for all 3 of these. So we need to start adding some screens. So let's do add screen, and I'm going to do an answer plus the number of bars that I have for my options. So answer 1, and that's where this button will lead. I'm going to go ahead and add answer 3 and answer 5 as well. Answer for number 3, and then back up again for answer for number 5. All right, and then once we do that, we need to start thinking about how to code those blocks back on the choose number screen. So I'm going to go back to choose number, and I'm going to go to my blocks view. If you remember, this is where we code. We want this first button here to go to answer 1. So I'm going to go to blocks, and I'm going to click on button 1 over here because it's the first button on my screen. When button 1 is clicked, we want to open another screen just like this one, but instead of screen 1, we want it to go to answer 1. So if you remember, it's under the control section, and you scroll down a little bit, open another screen, and the screen name, remember, we have to type it in exactly the way it is in our drop-down menu up here. So I'll go ahead and take a look to remind me, answer 1. So when button 1 is clicked, we want it to open the answer 1 page. I'm going to organize this a little better. So I have button 1, I have button 4 down here. Button 2, let's go ahead and bring this over. When button 2 is clicked, we want to open another screen. This is going to get a little repetitive here because we're doing the same code for each button with a different page that it's going to open. So when button 2 is clicked, we want, for me, and yours is going to be different probably, mine is answer 3 because remember I'm doing 1, 3, and 5 for my options of how many chocolate bars there are. So I'm going to go ahead and do my last one right now. When button 3 is clicked, open another screen, and that is going to be answer 5. So I'll grab my text box here, and I'm going to thunk it right there, and we're going to call that answer 5. All right, so now back on this screen, all of these should be coded to open the new screens that we made here, answer 1, 3, and 5. I'm going to go ahead to answer 1, and I need to figure out what I'm going to put right here. So it's going to be a label because I'm going to give some text as the answer, and I need to think about that for a second. So if I go back over here, and we know that there are 12 pips total in a chocolate bar. A pip, again, is that little section of a chocolate bar. There are 12 total. Every time we make a s'more, we use 3 pips. So 3 pips out of 12 is equivalent to 1/4 of the whole bar. So there are 4 sections here that I could have. 1, 2, 3, and 4, which means I could make 4 s'mores. I used some division to get there. 1 whole bar divided by 1/4 equals 4 whole sections. Well, what if you had 3 bars and 5 bars? Well, that's exactly what I have in my example. So I'm going to be putting the answer here on the answer 1 page for 1 whole bar divided by 1/4. And the answer for that is you could make 4 s'mores. Now, I'm not just going to say that. I'm going to say you can make 4 s'mores. And I'm going to put the reason there because I don't need to capitalize that, because 1 whole bar divided by 1/4 equals 4. All right, so I have given my information here, and then I also need a home button. That is pretty important. So we're going to bring a button back over here. We're going to call it home. And then we are going to code it with blocks. You guessed it. Button 1, when it's clicked, we want to open another screen. We're going back home this time, so we need to call that screen 1. We're going to go up here, grab our text box, and call it screen 1. Now your job is to go back to this page right here, your choose number, and code the screens for your second and third answer. You can do this independently. You're just going to follow the same tasks that I did here for answer 1. So make sure you provide your math here, you give a reason, and you click the home button. And then once you have everything coded, you can go ahead and test your app again. So you should be able to go the whole way through the app, be able to get home from every screen, and make sure that you have the proper math in there and that your answers are correct. And then your app is done. We're going to talk in the next video about some extra things we can do if you have extra time and you want to make your app even more exciting. All right, so good job on this. And if you have any questions, check with your teacher. And that you guys did great. Good job.